Hey guys, this is the course reveal for the Chattanooga 10-hour adventure race. We're starting up at Covenant College on top of Lookout Mountain, Georgia, just across the border from Chattanooga. And the race is going to start. There's 29 two-person teams starting, pretty decent for our first year. We're going to start things off with a prologue. Teams of two can split apart, so the 100-foot rule is suspended for the prologue. They have gotten all of their maps with the exception of map 4, which is the last trek, and they're going to pick that up during the prologue. So the start finish is here, and then the maps are going to be down along the road here. And also you can see that CP1 is right here. So teams can split up, go in different directions. Leg 1 will be on the bike. However, they need to leave one bicycle at the start for at least 3 minutes. So they can't just ride down to get the map. The person retrieving the map has to get there on foot. So there's several options as to how they'll be able to skin that, whether they run a bike down to it and then ride off, or the person on the bike goes and drops a bike off, or maybe the person on the bike goes and gets CP1 and comes back up. There's several options there. So it's going to be interesting to see how teams skin that. So then if they're going to go to CP1 afterward, they can take this trail up, or they can cut up the 800 loop over here to the connector trail, heading down south to what's called the Moonshine Trails. CP18, that's the last one on the way back to the finish. CP2 is sitting right here. There's a little cut through here if you look. It's just kind of a ghetto game trail. If they find it, it's a quicker way rather than coming all the way around the bend there. So if they get that, they can take the black trail. That's going to be the easiest one to navigate because there's a nice little switchback there. If they don't, then they'll come on the blue trail up here, the Firewater Trail, and attack it from the top. A little harder to navigate, but still not too bad. After that, they're going to head out towards Lulu Lake Road, and then they're going to take Lulu Lake Road south. This is map 2. They'll come out of the road right here, take Lulu Lake Road for about 5 miles, heading on south, and then they'll head towards TA12. Now, there are 3 more checkpoints on this leg. They've already got 1 and 2. There's 3, 4, and 5, and so they'll go over to map 3 for that. So this is map 3. It's TA1 and 2 right there. Checkpoints 3, 4, 5. 3 is here. 5 is down here, and then 4 is up here. I put the number of the checkpoints from west to east, so not to suggest any particular route. So teams may come in Durham Road here and then come down the trails, try to hit 5 and 3 and 4, or vice versa. Actually, the best option is to come down, stay on the road, go past the TA here at Durham, stay on the road, go down here, come into this little parking lot, maybe do an out and back to CP5, and then take trails up to CP3, probably back end, most direct. It's a steep hill up here, and do an out and back, and then head. They've got a couple options here. They can head along the connector trail, back out to the Durham Mine Trail area here, or they can come down the Kettle Bottom Trail this way, and then the connector trail over to the Durham side, and then head on over to CP4 before heading over to TA. At that point, they'll drop their bikes, they'll get on foot, and then we'll have CPs 6 through 10. CP10 is probably the farthest flung one here. They'll also encounter along the way a couple of checkpoints that are going to make sure that they stay together as a team. CP10 will have a game camera, and on the punch will be laminated instructions to smile at your candid camera and to strike a pose. CP3 as well, down here on the bike, that will have fingernail polish, and each team member will have to paint a nail and show that at the TA. They got to show their punch cards at every TA, and so we'll make sure that they have a nice, pretty painted nail in order to get credit for that. So on foot, CP10's up here, and CPs 6, 7, 8, and 9 are down on the low end here in the 5 points area. Several ways to skin this. The question is going to be CP8 here is on top of the hill. Do they attack that from CP7 down up to 8 to 9, or vice versa, 9, 8, 7. 6 is pretty much an out and back. So there'll be several options here. More than likely they'll bushwhack. This is probably the CP9, the more difficult one to find. It's an old roadbed. They'll have to work off of these curves in the trail more than likely, because there's not a lot of features to work off of. So I'm expecting teams to kind of knock that one off first, then maybe head up the hill, then down to 7 and to 6 and back out. But there's several options there. At TA2, after they get off of their trek leg, they'll be given an option for a bonus CP. So the teams can separate at that point. They hopefully will realize that even though they're only given one map on the instructions here, they can transpose so they have to get A, B, C, and D, and they're just puzzle pieces that they put together. It's just the race logo in order to get credit for the bonus CP, but they could split up. 100-foot rule is suspended. So hopefully they realize that they have a map of this area already, so they can just, if one person wants to tackle C and D, the other person A and B, they can use their main maps and just put these particular points on it. And one person goes get A, B, one person gets C and D, and then they meet back at the TA, and they can move on to leg 3. They're going to get back on their bikes. They'll come out Durham Road, take a right, and then head on the connector trail here. This is called the Nickajack Connector Trail. CP11 is an old roadbed, pretty easy to find off of that switchback there. This is a fairly rough trail, a lot of up and down, and they'll be heading north towards the last trek. CP12 is a little bit, there's not much to work off there. There's slight bend. Of course, you can try to pace off of that corner there here, or you can try, you cross this creek, you can just go straight up the creek to it. This one's probably the most varied checkpoint. None of the checkpoints are too hard to find. Nothing's hidden, but that one there's a couple of attack points. So it might give teams a little bit of trouble. That one's in the mountain laurel thicket down there along the creek. Then they head out here to Nickajack Road. They can take the F4 trail here up towards the TA, but this is a black trail. I have put on the trail maps. This area is full of bike trails, blue, green, and black for the most expert trails. So needless to say, they probably do not want to take that trail out there. They should get on the road and then just head up to the TA on Lula Lake Road. So at TA34, again, they'll get their maps for the Leg 4 trek during the prologue, so they won't have time to really plan it out, but it's not going to be too difficult. So this is map 4 showing the trek. This is what they're going to get during the prologue, so they won't have much time to plan it out. From TA34, just take the road down and probably hit CP13, bushwhack across. You could try to bushwhack straight up to this ridge line, but it's pretty thick through there, so more than likely they're going to hit the trail here and then just follow the trails up in this old roadbed to 14. At that point, they're just going to head along the bluff trail here. These are beautiful views to the east. Hopefully, it's kind of partly cloudy tomorrow, so hopefully they'll get some decent views. CP17 is right along that bluff with a nice view off of it, small trail leading to it. And then they're going to head down hill to CP16, which is Lula Lake Falls. Absolutely beautiful, and the water is still running quite a bit because we've had a good bit of rain over the past month or so here. So the falls will be pretty spectacular. So hopefully they enjoy that. They can there's several options as far as to get 15. I suggest coming up this trail, coming to that junction there, and then working off to this drainage to 15. At that point, take the main trail back up to the TA, and at that point they're almost done. They'll switch back to map 1 to take them to the house. The best route is to actually take Lula Lake Road up this way, come in through that gate there, and then head north on this old roadbed. You can see here, so they come up the gate, come up there, and then get on the connector trail to CP18, and then essentially reverse course back up the Cloudwind connector to the finish, and they're done.